Alright, so for tonight's episode, episode 3, the conversation is going to revolve, more like, around influence and how digital media, whether that be social media, whether that be news organizations, or anything that comes to our mind, how the internet influences people's decisions. So I think to begin, and the game played in the background is going to be Splinter Blacklist for tonight. So to begin, I think I would like to start with social media, and I also want to reference the part from Brock's article that we've read for class that was about race and the whole online discrepancy with that. He mentions in the article about toxic. He mentions toxic commenters. You know, when someone posts, a post or does something online or a story, and people just, immediately, you have these people that will get on to that story or get onto that page or even YouTube channel, let's say, that video, and they will just automatically just throw mud at the creator and just have toxic comments saying, just hate speech and everything else, and it ruins stories, and that influences people, because when people post stories, it's no longer a debate and discussion anymore. It's people just slinging mud at each other. So that is one thing that is a problem with social media. On the flip side, influence can kind of be a checks and balance system. Well, it's supposed to be a checks and balance system because we're supposed to have, Facebook and big tech, for example, is supposed to monitor conversations and the influence, even though, the fact that they can monitor influence is kind of a problem anyway, but there's supposed to be checks and balances. And people having comments online, being anonymous, can serve to that checks and balance purpose. But, I'd like to start there, just with social media and, how commenters can just be a problem. But, Do you have anything to say about that, Katz? I know you're with us tonight. Okay, go ahead. Floor is yours.
I'm sorry, I got a popcorn kernel stuck in my gums, but
You're good.
Here's what I want before I
so in my opinion, anonymity can be both a problem and a privilege.
They've detained a subject with intel on Guam, but no one gets to ask questions
mostly
until
do.
they're done with him.
How'd they nab him?
They didn't.
Yeah.
To the fact that due to the anonymity that
How do we know he's
you can have on
sixth sense of humor?
the platform, people are not going to be able to
There's
hold
something
you
you're not
responsible
telling me?
for stuff. You could just be like, oh hey, here's my main
Does that
account,
mean anything?
and then, oh hey, I'm going to make a new throwaway account to say whatever I want to say and not be held accountable because no one's going to trace back to Jim Jones.
What we need to know
My
is what would
account is
make a
Jim
one-armed
Jones, so
dealer
they're gonna
turn
think
himself
Jim
into
Jones
the
is
CIA
this, when
right
it's
after
actually me
Guam.
saying this.
All the respect.
Then on the
honestly,
other side, you
dedication
have
to the CIA.
anonymity being a good thing because,
You're on our team now.
like,
missing
if you
something?
post something
These are
anonymous
only
that
connections
people
the
start
engineers are
blowing up
trusting this to someone
upon,
else.
at least they won't personally
Who is
start
Andre
attacking you.
Coben.
Andre Coben
Right.
pretended to
So,
kill my daughter
I think you
leverage
raise a
over
good point, though, because being anonymous can
How is he
obviously be
even
good,
still alive?
bad thing. Do
Good
you think,
question.
like, just in terms of influence, because,
What's our move, Sam?
I think all of us know that when we're online, we're being influenced constantly, either by ads, by the algorithms that we discussed yesterday, and by a bunch of other factors. Just what you were mentioning, Katz, do you think anonymity serves kind of more of an evil purpose, or can it serve more of a just purpose? Is it a better thing or a bad thing? Does it cause bad influence or good influence? Good influence.
Medium
Just-
influence, in my opinion.
Okay, so you think it's kind of balanced in a way.
Show me the safe house.
Yes.
I
Really?
think
That's a bad neighborhood.
I can see your
I know,
point, but
weird,
I think I
right?
kind of have
'Cause
to
usually
disagree.
the CIA tries to keep their Middle East
because
ops super
I'll
obvious.
tell you, and
Focus.
me and Chad's here as well.
Your best approach is
Oh,
through
yes.
the bazaar here.
Yeah. Anyway,
You give the
we were
signal,
having a
my
conversation about this
contact
earlier.
approach the
Yes,
safe house, it'll be a clear
it
run
can
at
serve the
Coben.
checks and balance
It
because
always
with
looks easy on the
anonymity, you
screen.
can have people that are.
To be
it's
clear,
like I remember
Sam, we are talking
for
about
this
an
class,
extraction, not
for
killing
this
him.
class. Okay, I can't focus. It's
You're up.
so
Show
loud.
me viable positions for Overwatch.
This guy did a presentation on why
Best sight lines are
4chan
here,
and being
there.
anonymous on 4chan, like
Looks good.
actually like people
Grab a
were
suppressed
solving
sniper kit.
crimes, people
Am I
were helping
providing
people
cover or am I
out.
taking out the targets?
But
Charlie, rustle us up some
on the
transport,
flip side,
would you? Somebody have blends,
like
gas
4chan, for example, has become an extremely
answer my
toxic
question,
place, and it
You
has,
just worry about viable spot
influenced
tracks, Phil.
people
Something here.
to just really do
Everyone clear?
say horrible things as well.
Let's make
But
this prep
I think,
quick.
in my opinion, I think it causes more harm than good. Although the
Flight
good is
deck,
there.
we are go for Benghazi.
And just building off that, let me
Keep
also.
Coben alive, so it's nothing lethal. Recommended
continue my
gear
point in a
starts with
second.
smoke and
Let me,
flashbangs, not frags.
I think I have everything I want right on my loadout here. Yeah, I just want to just turn down once I get to the thing. But no, but I think it is a good point. From what you've seen, just okay. Let me ask you this, Cats. I'll ask one specific question.
Grim, give me a
What
sit
ways have the internet
We've got a
influenced you?
problem.
Like
I've been pinging my contacts
you
since
like
we got on
obviously
the ground.
watching
She
anime.
isn't
You like geek
responding.
things, kind of like
Briggs,
the rest
you
of
have
us.
a visual
me, at
in the
least.
safe house.
How do you think the internet has influenced you?
It doesn't look good.
Past
I've seen militia
5
all
years.
over the plaza.
If you even have
I'm entering the
Makes
plaza.
me realize
Voices
how much
blocking the
people
front door.
hate other people.
yeah, I could see that. Any specific example that you saw that stood out compared to the rest of it?
The entire YouTube comment section.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a
Yeah, that checks out.
yeah. Well, it's very toxic. I mean, we were talking about yesterday. Yeah, people love arguing. Yeah,
From the southwest corner of the
and oh, it's a little too low. But yeah, people love arguing, and you know.
Okay,
what's-
wait,
oh,
hold
go
on,
ahead,
hold on.
Go ahead.
So, on the topic of like toxic communication,
Grim, keep trying to reach our
do you
contact.
guys remember the whole
Oh.
Xbox 360 game chat joke?
Yes, I do.
No.
That is a prime example right there. Fruitcake, please explain to Cats.
So, the Xbox 360, when it launched, you know, it had that chat. It had the chat feature, especially where you could literally just—it's kind of like PlayStation 3 at the time as well, where you literally could just send instant messages, kind of like a text over online. From what I remember, that became a problem because, no joke, whenever I played, let's say Modern Warfare 2. The amount of, even just in the meme culture too, the amount of toxic comments started to become, like, in a way, kind of hilarious because of how stupid they were. But people would use the chat to say the most ridiculous things, especially during games. Am I hitting the point you want me to hit, Chad? Or am I kind of?
Yeah. I think the joke was mostly about the voice chat, but
Oh, sorry, the voice chat. Yeah, the voice chat was pretty horrible too. People literally, I mean, you had kids. You know, you had the stereotype of like where like the kids playing and the mom's in the background, whatever the case is. It's just, it was bad. But okay, thank you for that intel there. But it was just, yeah, the whole Xbox 360 voice chat and the text chat became very toxic very quick. It became a meme, it became multiple GIFs, I think. And it really just became the laughing stock kind of that console because it was just, I mean, people, you would think you'd be having constructive conversation, especially if you're doing a tactical game like, let's say, Splinter Cell, like this one, but it didn't. It turned into this space of just craziness to the point where it got ridiculous. People were saying just stupid things. Alright, oh, I'm not gonna mark this guy.
Yeah.
Not what I'm supposed to. But I got it. Should use the honey badger for that, shouldn't I? What was I gonna say? But I'll tell you from my experience, being online, I remember starting my Facebook, and this kind of goes into the article, Megan, of whatchamacallit, one of the articles from class that the teacher, I can actually just pull it up right now just so I'm not saying it. Where is it? It's on my Chrome here, right? Yeah, it's the Hutchins Campos article. She has this section on page 181 where it says, upon logging in, this is about Twitter, upon logging into Twitter, I was opted into following news organizations and celebrities. Now, that right there is influence just out the gate. And that happens with whatever you sign up for. I mean, like ads, for example, are targeted to specific interests. They're trying, because it's the whole algorithm, just like we were talking about last time. It's supposed to just figure out kind of who you are as a person, what you like, and what will sell to you. So even that whole thing about her logging in and immediately saying, hey, follow Kim Kardashian, or hey, follow Fox News, hey, follow CNN, whatever, that is influence being thrown right in your face in the digital media realm. I remember, and this goes kind of to my Facebook example, because once I logged into Facebook, I got slammed with a bunch of stuff saying, hey, follow this, like this, and the whole thing about just being on Twitter and Facebook too, where it says, hey man, this thing came out, I want you to like this, and bots just kind of sending out their feelers in a sense is crazy. But she continues, I unfollowed most of them once I realized that I could find and follow people who discussed topics more in line with my interests. And and that is neat that she found that. But which says, at the time I was an English literature senior studying my literary theory, struggling with theorists such as Derrida and Foucault. A simple search for people discussing these Western thinkers brought me to 3 men. And this is what I'm going to talk about too. This goes right to the whole influence thing. When she was on this online space, she says here, a simple search for people discussing these Western thinkers brought me to 3 men discussing them in detail. I followed them, then started listening to their conversation. After some time, I joined them as a fellow educated conversant. So that is an example of when Twitter's the it is the gladiatorial arena. But that's an example, I will say, of when it can be good, of when when you are influenced to look up scholars, to look up documentaries, for example, and to learn rather than just kind of be toxic. But still, to the point of Kat's made earlier, I think that while it can be a balance of good and bad, it is worse. It's actually worse because as Chad and I were talking before we started this, we're just talking about. I closed the door. Hold on. Let me get to. I gotta kill these guys first. Oh, that guy's glitching out. Oh, don't do that. There's people behind me. Here we go. But as long as people have opinions, they're you're gonna have discourse, and with whatever the topic is. And hey Bobby. And tonight's topic's on influence and the internet, so if you have any comments, jump in. But as long as people have opinions, it's going to always cause discourse. And online, my argument for why online has made it worse is because when you're online, not only do you have opinions, but your opinions are spread to the entire... Oh, you're good. You're good, Bobby. Those opinions can now be spread to the entire world. Now, in some cases, like I was talking about China earlier, like the whole Hong Kong incident where, the Hong Kong protests, that was heavily censored. That's a prime example of how just control can influence people to have no influence, and it really just destroys free speech. But yeah, when opinions, especially toxic ones, can be about race, about whatever, can be spread to the entire web, you're gonna have problems. Because, these opinions aren't contained anymore. They can go everywhere. And I think we've all seen examples of this. I would say, I'm sure Bobby's seen it. I'm sure, Jared, you've seen it. I know I've seen it. I know Chad's probably seen it in one way or another. I know Katz has probably seen it. But just, and I kind of want to shift over to that. 'Cause I think we might have more to say about that. Is, how... I'll even propose a theory here. If there was a type of, I'm going to say Splinter Cell because of the game, but if there was a group that was able to hack into big tech and was able to spread their influence far and wide with no repercussions at all, do we think that potentially could destroy internet culture, or at some point would balance would the pendulum swing back and these people would be censored and we take control of the internet again? What do you think would happen, guys? I'm curious.
Well, okay, all right. So my question is,
yes.
If you begin to censor people who you find undesirable, when does that end?
Right.
What if there are legitimately good opinions that you just don't like? Does it end there? Or does it keep going?
Right. And I think it keeps going, in my opinion. What do you think, Katz?
Censorship of ideas? I'd have to say there's a reason why we have the First Amendment to begin with. Protection of speech is to allow people to speak their minds and opinions, even if someone else wouldn't find it okay. It is still their right to it because that is a fourth country, so there really shouldn't be this censorship of people speaking their ideas. But there is because of how society is.
Right. Yeah, and to answer your question, I'll even propose my own theory to it. If a group was able to have that kind of control, Chad, I honestly think that that the internet, I mean, there would be a huge fallout on the internet, and you obviously can't have everybody thinking one opinion. That's impossible. So if that were to happen, I think it really would be kind of a doomsday effect, where before, if we were to recover from something that really did change the entire internet dynamic, it would really it would change the way. It's almost like how COVID is gonna change like business now because of how we're inside. That would change how internet influence and the laws about what can be on the internet would be just honestly in general. That's my answer to that. But do you have an opinion on that? Like, how do you think it'd be resolved or anything? Or do you have a conclusive answer to your question?
Me?
Yeah. Do you have your own answer to what you proposed?
No. I mean, except for the fact that, like, free speech should be protected under any circumstance. Regardless of whether or not you enjoy what's being said. The ability, like, restricting someone else's ability to say something is grounds for restricting your own ability to say something.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Nice work securing the package.
So, if you would want yourself to be heard, why would you restrict others from being heard?
Right place, right build, I assume, sir.
Make assumptions when I'm on the ground. Clear?
Sam, talk to me.
I've been responding to all these with questions.
No, you're good. As an idea, what do you think proper censorship is? If it were to be used? Or how would you change modern censorship to make it more fair, if that makes any sense?
Modern censorship, I'll just tell you straight out, I would just stop censoring things. People deserve to know the truth. Stop. Like the thing about censorship is certain sites are going to censor certain things, while other sites are going to censor other things, which will make the accuracy of the information decline overall.
Right.
So I think we should just cut to the point and just tell the people the entire story.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, yeah, and that goes right to news, you know, like how news is censored and how, and because I mean, and so what you're saying is you want, I mean, a lot of stuff should just be unfiltered. It should be just the, you know, the raw stuff, right? Is that what I'm getting at?
The raw information.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because people do deserve to know. Like, I don't want the country to do something behind my back.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
It's too late for that.
Well, I mean, it's been too late for that for like over 40 years. Early in the entire history, but no, I think it's a good point. You know, and that I just oh, I don't know how I didn't get spotted. You know, and that takes us, well, when I think of Katz's answer, I definitely think of just how news, like the way news is handled online, because the freedom, you know, the freedom of having information online can be a glorious freedom. Like, I mean, how many times, guys, have, you know, we've looked up, really, I just jumped over it again. I want to drop. I'm about to get spotted. Got him. How do I drop here? Oh, that's what I gotta hit Q. Anyway, you know, how many times have we looked up articles for class, or we've been in a pinch and we Google something, right? And we find it, and we find our answer. Like, you know, that obviously can, you know, has probably helped us out in some situations. Yeah, you would agree?
I would.
Yeah.
There are times when censorship is okay.
Oh, no, I'm just talking about just finding information online, just that freedom of being able to find information.
Yeah, freedom of information is good, but well, I did say that people deserve to know the raw and full story. There are times when censorship can be acceptable, like in times of war. No one wants to hear, oh, hey, America won this battle but lost 1,500 people. Like, no one's going to want to hear that type of news. Like, there are times when, like, like in order to keep morale up, censorship is acceptable. But then to counteract that, once the war or event is over, people need to know what actually happened.
Right.
Well, yeah, but if it benefits them to not say anything about what actually happened, do you think that they would just let everyone forget anything ever happened?
Just think about it like this. It might benefit them now, but it's a ticking time bomb. If someone finds out the non-censored data and reveals it to the public, there would be an outcry.
Perhaps, but what if there isn't? How many things have been revealed that have not gotten an outcry? I wouldn't know, but I'm just asking the question.
Well, then that's just a sad point in society that we don't care enough about the information.
Okay, and I want to propose this question because I want to. It'll be kind of going to what you were saying, Katz, about how people should know, or in some cases they shouldn't know. How valuable is free information to you?
It's extremely valuable.
And that's to both of you too.
Oh,
That's
free information about anything in particular?
Yeah, just free information that is unmanipulated, especially in the culture we live in now, where stuff is very manipulated. How valuable is good, accurate information that you can access?
It is beyond measurable in how
Extremely accurate. I mean, extremely valuable.
Oh,
Sorry.
you got me.
Extremely valuable.
I hit the Q button, not the E button. Oh my gosh, really? Yeah, I would agree. And in some ways, I think it's priceless, considering considering how saturated the information market is, and how rare it is to find unfiltered stuff that has truth to it. Because everything has a spin these days. It really is, and that is highly influential. Because I mean, I just mentioned this before we went live. Is just the fact that the generations now are gonna be very tech influenced. It is going to completely change. Like I would imagine 15 years down the road, the way people, I don't know what it is with the models glitching out. Like what is going on here? But anyway, considering that the fresher generations, can't even think of the word, are going to be influenced by technology. It's going to change the way we conduct business. It's going to change the way we have information, and it's going to, I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to happen within the next 10 years, I would say. Maybe I'm wrong, whatever. But I really think that because this new generation is tech heavy, like the internet is going to literally drive their decisions. How do you just turn around that fast, dude? It is, and it's actually quite. It's goes hand in hand with this game because this entire Splinter Cell, this is for my professor's sake. This entire game is based on espionage, and information is power. Is what is especially how Spec Ops conduct their operations. So I mean, information to these guys is life or death, to some degree. And having false information literally will cost lives.
I feel like
again,
I was gonna say that.
What'd you say?
I should also look at what I'm saying, and say if censorship is a ticking time bomb, it is just a one giant ticking time bomb that's been left mismanaged.
Right. Well, and how I'm just curious here. I maybe have asked this before, but think of it in the way of influence. I mean, when you obviously censor stories, let's right off what you were saying. When you censor stories, and people don't get the full story, I mean, people are being fed lies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and why is that a bad thing? That's a very basic question. Why is that a bad thing?
Well, it's a bad thing due to the fact that you are choosing to
Heads up, Sam. The police station is just around the corner.
give people misinformation.
I'm almost
Right.
on site. I
Oh my
scoped
gosh, I
out a
had a great
rooftop
point to
200
follow up
meters
with that. I
south of
gotta
the police
remember what
station.
that is.
Eyes on the compound and the street out front.
Oh, and I'll tell you what. Do you think that some, and this is to both of you as well, and even to the chat. These questions are for you guys in the chat as well. But do you think that there is some responsibility on the users of the, you know, not I mean, obviously the developers, when you create any product, it should be honestly for the betterment of mankind. But do you think that there is some responsibility on the people who consume technology for why censorship and why we have problems like we do? It's almost kind of like how gamers, like, do you think that we gamers are partially responsible for the loot box phenomenon?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Why? Okay, run with it. Why?
Well, first of all, the loot box phenomenon started as a little thing. It was not big, but gamers would continuously pour more and more money into it just to get something that they want. And so game companies figured out, oh hey, if we do this system, we can get a crap ton of money. So, sorry for the...
You're fine, you're fine, keep going.
They found out, oh hey, if we do it like this, we'll get a lot more money. And we can milk out as much of it as we want from the consumers. And so, as more and more people fed more and more money into this machine, they were more incentivized to continue with the practice.
Right. Absolutely. And, you know, just... since they're... And I agree with you. I think gamers, you know, in this example, are totally responsible for... Or they're partially responsible. Okay, and what ways... How do we stop that? How do consumers... How can we voice our complaint to where we can start fixing a problem like loot boxes?
Like what happened with the loot box phenomenon, people just started boycotting the games and the companies.
Right. And
so you would literally only have the hardcore fans staying with them, but like all the casual fans and everything just started leaving the game because they were disgusted. And if the companies wanted to survive, they had to go off of the loot box system.
Best bet is a secure interrogation room.
Right.
Top floor, south side.
And do you think that... I'm trying to think how I want to say this.
Copy that.
Because I believe you, and I agree with you. I think the way to hit him is right in the wallets. If you were gonna pass, this is gonna be kind of a little out there, but if you were in a position of power, Cats, and you had the chance, you were the head of some company, and you had influence in the gaming market, how would you prevent or encourage other developers to stop, like, especially, you know how, like, even at E3, you know how they have those, like, the trailers that are always kind of false, like Ubisoft has been targeted because of that? What would be your advice to developers for those who are screwing over gamers, and it's costing them their time, their money, their everything, and it's influencing them in a negative way? What would be your advice to those developers? What could you tell them, you think, that would they might listen to you?
First of all, you don't want me with power.
Okay, well, just assume you are.
Second of all...
I'm literally giving you your perfect fantasy here, okay?
I know, and I'm trying to think. I would have to say... I would tell them, make a good product that people want to play and want to purchase, instead of sending out these half-baked things and then demanding $100 of DLC to get a full game that should have really been one complete package in the first place.
Okay.
A perfect example is Final Fantasy XIV, the game. The game was bad at launch. Everyone in the community understands that. So the company was deciding on whether or not they wanted to shut it down. And please fact check me on this, Vamps, if you don't mind. The company wanted to was thinking about shutting the game down, but they had one man, Yoshi P, basically take the game and recreated it from the ground up as a complete game and re-released it. And people loved it. Right. And after they sent in the complete game, they gave 5 patches of free a free content for the subscriber base, because yes, it's a subscriber-based game. They gave free patches that expanded the story, expanded the world, and then sure, you'd have to pay another $30 for the expansion, but you still had the complete game on launch, basically.
Okay.
And many games nowadays and companies feel like, okay, we're going to take the full game and split it up into parts so we can milk it for money. And they don't tell you this because
then you would hate them.
you would hate
Rationally.
Yeah, because like I paid $60 for this game, and I don't want to have to pay another $60 just to get what I should have originally got.
Yeah, no, that whole practice of and just context here, just for my teacher. I am saving this guy. I am not just killing innocent civilians. These guys are criminals, and I am saving my asset from. That's why he's being tortured because they want information from him. But just context. But yeah, I mean the whole thing of I also want to do subtitles on here, and I don't know where. Oh, video settings. Where's subtitles at? UI. Oh, here we go. Play subtitles. Perfect. Yeah, the whole thing of releasing a game half-baked and where it's like broken in some ways. I don't know. You know, like Anthem is
Please don't remind me of that.
absolutely horrible.
More recently, there was Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, that was a great example because literally, they got sued by one of their investors because of that, and they
For
lost.
not releasing it.
What?
Wasn't it because they weren't releasing it on time?
No, it's because they released it too soon. Because there were so many bugs. That's the whole problem with the whole problem with Cyberpunk is that it wasn't finished.
Well, I thought that they had so many problems because they were forced to release it too early.
No, the problem is I'm glad you have, Bobby. The problem is that the guy sued them because it wasn't a finished product. It's like they lost a ton. They were losing money. Like the investors were losing money. That's why they sued them. And people were complaining about it. It was a bunch of hodgepodge of stuff. Is what went down. And in a way, and I'm going to go back to our influence argument because that's what the stream's about. That is really bad influence because now they have lost their fan base. They've lost a good portion of their fan base, I would say. And they're losing real assets in the business world that would ensure the company's survival. It was horrible, and then that sucks, and that's a perfect example of why you need good people, good managers, good people in the workforce in these game development studios to make a complete product, to where they can have positive influence in the gaming industry, and get people excited about games rather than filling it with all these lies. And this honestly brings us right to marketing. Because, and for my professor's sake, so there's a thing that's hosted every year called E3. And I think all of us here know what E3 is. I think you know it too. You know what E3 is, right, Chad?
Yeah, of course I know what E3 is.
Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure. So, anyway, so E3 is this convention where these developers will showcase their game, showcase their product. Let's keep it general here. Showcase their product, and for PR. Now, what happens is the way they have a negative influence. Yeah. Well, I want to do context here because I don't know if my teacher knows it. I know all you guys know, but this is just kind of for her sake. But anyway, when they have, so the way it works is they show a trailer for their game. And let's take Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs was an open world shooter that was supposed to be in 2014 was going to be like, the next gens, the PlayStation 4, Xbox Ones, and PCs. Next, groundbreaking experience because the graphics look great, the lighting was great, the voice acting was top notch, which it was, by the way. And the story was supposed to be, again, groundbreaking to a degree. So anyway,
so you turned yourself in for protection.
What happened was the trailers for most at these conventions are usually very staged,
how do you feel about
and they're usually directed in a certain way to just be shown at E3. And
what does that mean?
How that causes negative influence in the gaming industry
You and Charlie try and dig up any information
it's false advertisement. We'll bring it back to It was a good game, Bobby. I actually loved the game a lot with what came out. But I'm just using it as an example because a lot of people were pissed off with what happened. So, but anyway, that kind of goes to what the article was saying about Twitter. That professor that I mentioned earlier was saying how when she was sorry, not that one. The Eddie Brock. I said Eddie Brock. I said Eddie Brock.
I knew you were going to do that.
I knew it. That was whatever. But the Brock article, was mentioning in that little subparagraph that people, there's these comment sections that are filled with this toxic garbage, and you can't distinguish fact versus fiction because people are throwing food at each other, and we are Venom. People are throwing food at each other, and it's just a giant mess. That goes right to these E3 presentations because, again, they're lying to the public. There is so much, the water is so murky, in a sense, that consumers aren't getting told the full picture. They're being influenced by lies. And that's a problem because it affects, it not only affects your reputation as an industry, but it affects, gamers' wallets in this case, because you're buying a product that you're not actually buying the product you think you see. You're buying something else, and that's that's illegal. It is, but there's
false
so many
advertising. Yeah,
in a way, not a finished product in Cyberpunk's case is that could fall under the terms of being illegal, and that's bad because what that does is then you create, at least at E3. Let's just take E3 again. You create a stereotype, especially to moms and people that are non-gamers that are trying to learn about the gaming industry because it's becoming a more and more popular thing these days. It's becoming highly influential, especially with like these tournaments. But anyway, it influences people that even aren't gamers because they see this problem going down and they want to stay away from it. When in the perfect world, you want people. You want to create things that are going to improve lives. At least, I think a good person. At least I do. And my point is, E3 is a problem because you're driving people away from something that could be good, versus bringing people together for something that is good. And that goes with social media. That goes with news organizations. That goes with the whole topics of race, of gender we've discussed in our class, Megan. People.
Who's Megan?
Megan's my professor.
Oh.
So
okay.
people, yeah. So, no, I'm not randomly just saying my teacher's name. But anyway, you have this opportunity to build, to construct something good, but you don't. And it sucks when it's being abused.
Well, okay, there's a difference, I think, between something sucking because it was like they had an idea but they just didn't make it work or they couldn't make it work for some reason. Yes. Like it was an accident and it just didn't work out very well. And something sucking because you made it in a way that would benefit you the most but would hurt people, and as a result it sucks.
Well, a lot of that,
and I agree with you, Chad. I'm saying I agree with you on
Sorry to
that.
interrupt.
I'm kind of getting at that point, but go ahead, Katz.
Well, what I'm about to say might be a bit weird, but another reason why these games are releasing way too early is because society has become very fast. Information travels fast. People censor everything really fast.
Yeah,
so,
hey, cancel culture.
Very
alive
that's a very
and well.
good example of censorship, at least, I think.
No, it is. We cancel culture, and again, this is because of the influence of the internet again. Cancel culture is very relevant today because this is how movements can be stopped, especially good ones. Now, and this is kind of out there too, but this could influence charities as well. But cancel culture, very much a problem today, and we've actually have studied that in our class.
I don't think anyone in their right mind would cancel freaking charity.
No, they wouldn't. But what I'm saying is that it can be. Cancel culture is very manipulative. I'm just saying it could influence. Sorry, it could cancel and it could destroy very, very, noble efforts like charity. Not saying it does in all cases, but it can. That's what's scary about it.
Let's move.
But yeah, I mean, I think we all have something to say about cancel culture. I mean, just from the examples that I know off the top of my head, I remember on Facebook, I see stuff all the time as a Christian.
Cancel.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Cancel culture really shouldn't even exist because we are the country of free speech. So
and yet people are getting their lives ruined by something they said like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. I mean that just. I mean, I won't get into politics, but the one thing I'll say is like you guys.
Find that.
No, can I finish?
Yeah, go.
Okay, yeah. So, do you guys remember the Kavanaugh hearings?
No.
What now?
Brett Kavanaugh. How was I just discovered? Brett Kavanaugh, the guy who was going to be Trump's justice. Anyway, I'm just going to say just one thing, and then we'll get off this. He was slung through the mud because people, to your point, that Katz was saying 10 years ago, right? They were bringing up stuff 10 years ago to use against him. That's the only thing I'll say about that. That's an example.
Okay. I do have something to say on that, and this might get me a lot of hate. But people have to realize that 10 years ago is a long time, and the values of a country change from year to year.
The values of a country and the values of people change.
So, for example, he could have said those things 10 years ago, and then 10 years now he could come to deeply regret it and have completely different values upon it. But when he said it at the time, it was probably culturally accepted. Like, people need to realize that times have different viewpoints, and these viewpoints affect how people act and what's censored and what's stated.
Oh yeah, and also, people need, I was mentioning earlier, context of the situation. That also needs to get taken into account because, yeah, everybody makes mistakes and they may say things that are not the wisest things. Me included. I'm no saint when it comes to
how
that.
How dare you reveal that you're not perfect?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But people need to, again, this is where you have to take a step back and have a discussion and think about, okay, context. Why was that said? Who said it? Was it directed to all the factors before just saying, he said Ford trucks are evil, so we need to sue him. It's like, no. It's like, you don't just say that. And Jared said this in the chat. To play devil's advocate, freedom of speech is not freedom of consequences of your own speech. That is true, yeah. I mean, don't incite negativity and don't, I think a morally good person doesn't want to instigate conflict. Even if someone like myself who is pompous, I'm not going to lie, and is pretty controversial, I think most good people anyway, at least people that I know, they want to have progress, not have that progress torn down. But go ahead, Katz.
I will say there are certain situations where a good person will get confrontational and physical, because if they see something not right happening in front of them, like if I saw something that
you're talking about the bystander effect. We're kind of getting on that.
Yeah, but for example, if I saw something that was not culturally, but just unaccepted by society happening to another person, okay, I will come out and say, if I see someone getting racially harassed, I would try and stop it and help the person.
Yeah.
But
that checks out.
Yeah, but
get the tri-rotor in a little closer and we can do a clean voice match.
Okay, what point was I gonna get? I sort of lost my point.
No, I think I get what you're getting at, though. If you see something that you can do something about, I'm assuming,
yes,
you would want to help.
It's this.
Yeah.
It is this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think, and that's a good thing. I think that people should, if there's something that the society can help out with, or even if you can help your neighbors. I was always raised that way to help and not just shy away from danger, but definitely doing something good. You should do something good if you can. That's the moral of the story here, and I agree with that. And I think honestly, most people I know would agree. Chad, I even think you would agree with that, man.
Yeah.
Considering that me and you are kind of in the same belief, yeah. And again, going back to our class, digital humanities and just digital media, the internet in general. I mean, again, we have opportunities to make this a very cool and good space. Of course, it's going to be impossible because not everyone's going to, be a good person, which sucks. But for those that can, it just sucks that I wish I saw more websites that really were designed for constructive content versus like selling a product, for example, or something that's they want to make money rather than do something good. I wish I saw more websites that were building good discussions and just kind of keeping people in line to a degree. That'll never fully happen because internet's the internet, but people should always try to be good influencers. I mean, quite frankly, it's like the internet is honestly the world's worst parent. You want to really think of it that way.
Wait, what now?
Well, because you know what a parent does. Ooh, I have a juggernaut.
Yeah, a parent teaches their child to be good.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is that the internet, well, it can do a good job. It can also do a horrible job, because parents, the goal of a parent.
First of all, the internet should never be your parent.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that some people really are. They're so influenced by the internet that they'll read everything at face value, right? And it sucks that happens. So that's what I'm saying, like how the internet can be the world's worst parent because it's teaching horrible things. If you decide, of course, to look those up and believe it.
Stop! Oh, you asshole. I'm MI6.
British Special Forces.
Sass.
Yes.
3 years! 3 years, deep cover, and you just fucking wasted it!
What's your
Is the stream over?
key?
Nope.
757.
Oh, okay.
But we can take a minute. We can take a minute here to pause. I'm not gonna keep hammering things. We can kind of focus on the games for a minute here.
Grim, did you get that?
Got it, Sam.
Alright. Who's pulling a
I really want them to make another Splinter Cell game. I want
Give
Ubisoft to
me a
like reboot the series, man, because people want it.
Let's go.
You're talking to him.
What the hell are you doing? Huh?
I can't remember what we last.
His name is Jadid Hidos.
What I was saying is how the
Was
internet can be the
MI6,
world's
not
worst
anymore.
parent.
He was burned 5 years
Oh,
ago
yes,
when he
okay,
became
now I
a
remember.
double agent.
No more games, Jadid. Blacklist.
Yeah, SAS is cool too.
You goddamn American.
I always like the SAS
Always
models
playing
in
cowboy.
multiplayer.
Quit
In
stalling.
MW3, for example, I like the
You're too
SAS
late.
multiplayer models you can play as.
Sam? There's
That
a
and
large
Sergeant
data
Woolcroft.
transfer from the compound above you.
No, it does. Yeah,
What are you
Special Air
planning?
Service. You're right.
We're
Yeah,
past
Sergeant
planning.
Woolcroft from MW3 when you're in London. That's the that's whatchamacallit. One of the coolest missions.
You're
The same
heroes.
actor who plays Ghost who plays him, which makes the mission
already
even
dead.
cooler. Oh, we just fell.
Shit.
Oops.
What the hell just happened, Sam?
He shot himself.
But
Holy shit.
yeah. So for the final
The data is
like
now going from a
10-ish
communications
minutes.
hub in the upper village. Look for a large satellite array.
I'm trying to think of what I want to say here because I want to leave it off with something that is like kind of a good lesson, something advice we can offer to people because we did.
I would want to
advice-
lead off with something positive.
No, I do too. So, all right, gang. What
Rode up that mountain.
are ways? And maybe I
What's our plan
already
of
said this
attack,
before, but I
Sam?
don't care. I'll say it. I'll say it again.
Get the
What are
chopper prepped for
ways
extraction and standby.
that the influence?
I'm on it.
What are ways the
Sam,
internet
I
has
see you
influenced
at
people
Site
in
Delta
a
Online.
positive way? Just make it very general.
Forums. There are some online help forums that help people get through mental stress and physical stress that they might not be able to pay a doctor for, and just helpful people on the internet come and talk with them and help them get through it.
I agree. There's also YouTube. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, for example, like whatchamacallit, that help people out with buying cars, looking at houses. I mean, shoot, I even see ads now for like parenting, even though I think that's a little stupid. But anyway,
I've
yes.
never seen an ad on parenting.
Neither. Well,
Besides,
yeah, on YouTube,
I'm-
it's there.
I've only ever seen an ad for parenting, which is about buy Pampers baby powder.
The diapers. You're talking about the diapers, yeah.
Pampers Cruisers, or so whatever they're called.
Oh yeah. The funniest Pampers, I think it was Pampers. The funniest Pampers commercial was the one where I'm not even gonna say it. It was just a funny Pampers commercial, but yeah, no. And how-tos. How-tos is like that. It's that string of videos and forums that are even on Reddit sometimes where I mean, people can help out people with anything. The amount of times I've searched for answers on a forum and I've actually gotten my answer is very cool. Okay, and that's very cool that we have that. Yeah.
I'm seeing movement above
But
you.
anyway, the fact that people can reach, I said people have opinions. The fact that people can reach people with positive knowledge is unparamount in this day and age, especially because businesses and people are, they're influenced a lot, especially kids, by things like YouTube and the internet. I mean, it's invaluable to a degree when it's used properly. But okay. But I don't know if you use that many. Oh, hold on. I don't know if you use that many how-to videos on YouTube, huh, Chad? Oh, okay.
Oh no, not really.
That's what I thought. Well, okay. What do you think? What have you seen, or what do you know off the top of your head? The ways that internet is just that's a positive influence. Why it's a good thing. Why we should put time into trying to fix stuff rather than just nuking it, in a sense.
Well, it allows most easily for people to connect with the community that they enjoy.
I think that's a good point.
That's all I got.
Well, no, I think that's a good point because community, and as I say, yeah, and Bobby, it's like I haven't seen ads since 2013. Yeah, same here, ad blocker. But Bobby says anything you want to learn or do, you can find it on YouTube, and that's exactly what I'm getting at. Like I have a Mustang, I'm a Ford Mustang. And the amount of times I've just looked up stuff like on how changing the oil, or seeing getting the proper oil filter, or even just like tire information, what are the best tires what's the best brand, anything like that. It has genuinely helped me. The amount of times, I mean, even my older brother, like, we YouTube everything around this house. We usually do stuff ourselves. We do a lot of DI, do it yourself by YouTubing it. And I think I want to touch on what Chad said about the community thing, because building, I mean, there are communities, and we've read at least 3 articles, I know, in our class about this. There have been communities, and Kat's mentioned before, there's videos about, helping people with depression, or whatever you said. Was it suicide or depression?
Just mental health.
Or mental health. Yes, I do love my Ford Mustang. It is a great car. It's no 8. But it's stock, but that car is reliable, and it's a great car. But anyway, yeah, like, I remember reading from our class articles about people building communities that were they were actually saving people's lives. They were people were able to be in a space. Oh, this is that podcast. There was a podcast we listened to where they were able to be. This community was being built up like 15 plus years ago. And people could be normal there. They could call that home. And they could say stuff to them that they couldn't say to other people. And especially because they were anonymous in some cases. But anyway, communities can save lives. And that, I mean, I think that has had such a positive impact on not just daily life, but culture in general. Because now with the it's like Discord. Discord is hugely important because with Discord, this YouTube channel can have kind of a lifeline. We're able to be here as a community. We're building a community. We've had a couple people join the past few months, or well, obviously the past few months, but even the past couple days, we've had new people join, and we're able to just be ourselves here and we get to know each other quite well. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. I mean, it just and Cats and Bobby, are in different areas than I am. I can say that. I don't think it's too revealing. But they're in different areas, and the fact that I get to talk to these guys every day, and Jared and Chad, whoever the case is, I love this. Because we're able to just, and it helps me. It really helps me kind of establish a normalcy with my life. Now, what's not normal is this guy's wearing full Juggernaut gear, and he is about to get I might get spotted though.
Enemy spotted.
Oh, dang it! That's alright, I gotta shoot his helmet off. Whew. But yeah, I definitely think that point should be definitely not glossed over, got him. Because, what the heck just hit me? But anyway, yeah, I guarantee you, if somebody ran statistics between, I'll do this again. If somebody ran statistics from 10 years ago to now, I got spawned out again. There are probably some staggering numbers to enlighten people about how positive online forums or anything online with community speak and all that, because I'm in the open. Now, don't I have... It's... Oh, I do have CPS. Perfect. Although, I want to use something... Wait, it's tab, right? Okay, hold on. I need to use tab. Oh, flashbangs. Perfect. Oh, that was a horrible throw. But, oh, I got him. But anyway, in the last 4 minutes, closing comments, guys. This is your third stream now doing this, and I really appreciate it. But just any closing thoughts for for Bobby, for yourselves, for me, for anything
I think
that you want to say.
The internet can be a tool, but any tool can also be used as a weapon.
Very well said.
Yes. And if that's the only
Directly or indirectly, I should say.
right. Yes.
Because
and,
a tool can be used to build things that are a weapon. Can be used to build weapons, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll answer your question in a second, Bobby. And what about you, Cats? Closing thoughts? Anything that you just want to say about anything?
Censorship has its purpose, though we should really be trying to give the full story whenever possible. The internet has both a lot of bad and good with it, and information just needs to be as truthful as possible so that people get a full understanding of the story instead of having to hop to like 7 different sites and try to find out what's right and what's actually correct between them.
Right. And I will say, tomorrow's stream will be on. It's gonna be the evolution of technology. It's gonna be where do we think we see technology in like a decade or whatever year we want to put. That's gonna be tomorrow's topic. But my closing thoughts are gonna be in relation to our class. Technology. What Chad said is a great point. Technology is a tool, just like anything else. Forums are great. Being able to access information freely is fantastic. It's a type of freedom that you really can't... Yeah, it's a type of freedom that you really can't duplicate in a sense. Like, it's just kind of there, and you want to keep it. And that's great. On the flip side, this class that I've had the, been able to be a part of, Megan, is fantastic, and I'm really glad that we've studied, in a way, controversial topics, but also topics that are very informative. And just, this class made me realize that, just the ins and outs of the digital media front, and there are a lot of problems that we have to fix. We have to focus on this, not just as developers of whether it's algorithms, whether it's trying to protect privacy, whether it's trying to kind of, make sure that we have balance in politics and balance in just in general. But, we just need people, the consumers and the developers need to be in this kind of conversation. And we need to be improving on what we have rather than just, giving up and destroying it. And the internet is obviously going to be extremely relevant and very important as time progresses, because we are in this age where a lot of stuff is engraved in it. It's just, we can't go back to some degree. I mean, some people would probably lose a lot of connection if we went back to no internet. But so considering that it is going to be around for years to come, people need to just, I pray that we have good leaders in the tech industry and, in the presidency and in foreign relations, whatever, so that we can build bridges rather than tear them down, and we can establish this space where everybody can be in a conversation, as I said before, and we're building, we're communicating, we're discussing rather than just ignoring. and we're trying our best. We have to give it 110% if we want to keep this world sustainable, and if we want to keep the online culture sustainable. And the way we can influence people today is to just spread good things, and not to and to fight for what's right. This really is simple as I can make that, but it's also very true. So yeah, that concludes episode 3. Once again, I thank Chad, I thank Bobby, I thank Jared, and I thank Katz for being here. And yeah, and tomorrow's episode will be on evolution of technology. So, and that'll be happening tomorrow night. Anyway, yeah, what was I gonna say here? Yeah, we're just gonna cut the stream off now, guys, because it's pretty late anyway, and I know all of us kind of I still gotta go to the gym. But no, man, yeah, thank you all for being here, and we'll see Bobby and Jared. We'll see you tomorrow night.